experience, which is, yeah, let's start. Everyone hear me, guys? Maybe not see me, but yeah, camera here. Good. Hello. I hope everyone can hear me and maybe now see me. Would be nice. Okay, yeah, we have a couple of thumbs up. So my name is Dmitry. I'm from Learning Dragons, and I'm a co-founder of an organization which evaluates learning and how efficient is learning. However, my agenda today is not how to evaluate it because it's unfair to use it. It's just about how to create a learning experience from your random documents or from your knowledge base if you already prepare some. So what is the current disposition? What is a problem? So it is long time coming because the big data is a word for a long time, and now organizations somehow need to use all data to teach people to share it across organizations. So, and now you can produce even more data because you have a synthetic thing. So it used to be that if you have one version of presentation, it was making sense just to share it because nobody needs 10 versions. However, now you can produce a result which is more suitable for a certain group of people and do it really fast and really good. And that makes learning personalized and faster, but it makes your management of learning harder. So there is a trade-off, as usually in all innovation. So I think everybody familiar here with this catered knowledge problem. So what is complication? Complication here is that you have a lot of tools, and basically these tools must be used by almost everyone in an organization. Now I think AI tools is like Microsoft Word or Microsoft Office in general, which was a common part of your CV like 20 years ago. Oh, I know Microsoft Office, or I know Microsoft PowerPoint. It should be there because it was advantage. And now the same thing will be with AI tools. Just give your and your coworkers an advantage. So yeah, I have a governance risk which we already discussed here on the slide. So yeah, that's a part of our conversation too. And there is one problem which I can share with you specifically. It's quite easy to start a pilot with AI tools. So basically you need just to make sure that you use right data and have some governance in place. It's easy to plug in and say, okay, we can start. However, it's quite hard to go from pilot to the production, which means that everyone in your organization or people who are designed to use this tool can use this tool efficiently, because it's a lot of learning involved, and the scaling in an AI tool is not so linear as in classical software as a service. So basically for software as a service, it doesn't make any difference do you have one client or 10,000. You have some scaling issues, but it's not essential. Here you have costs. The more people use AI, the more costly and the more expensive setup you need. So I think that's quite a huge difference in terms of costs. So sometimes you just don't need a large system because there is no business sense here. So it's interesting, it's comfortable, it's exciting to use it, but it doesn't create value for our organization because it's too expensive either to manage or to support or just as a resource. So there are a lot of opportunities, but I always want to start with the trade-offs. So the more AI you use, the more complex it's to manage it. I think that's essential idea. So how to decide when to use it or when not to use it, right? So you need to have a certain type of knowledge handling set up, right? It shouldn't be perfect. It's never perfect, but you should know which knowledge can be a part of learning and which not. We discussed already security reasons, compliance reasons. Maybe you have a personal data which you don't want to share, but it's part of the documents, or commercial secrets or whatever. So you need to know what part of the documents are shareable, which and what are not. So I think I have quite interesting pipeline to share how to produce course, or at least how do I produce a course. And we can later discuss guardrails, which is basically all limitations which derived from our planning for our learning. So, and this is my favorite slide. When I think about learning or about teaching, I always thought about the first two part of the slides, right? So this is like erudition, where you know facts across different domains and industries, and workflows, which means you know how to produce results from that facts, right? So you have a few facts, you put them together, you are either come to conclusion or using methods to come out to some judgment, right? So, however, in order to use a couple workflows or a few methods together, you need this thing, this is critical thinking. And this is, I think, essential skill now to use AI. So that's a real showstopper when people say, oh, I cannot produce a valuable result with AI. This is what happens. It's hard to have so fast-paced judgment. We are not used to it, I think, in general. And usually it's like super management job. So manager get used to produce judgment quite fast. But a normal person, let's say average employee, no one asked him, like, or he was rarely asked to judge between options on how to do his job. He got workflows, he had methods, he had company's procedures, company knowledge, and everything is kind of push him to produce certain results without critical judgment or with a minimum critical thinking. With AI, he can produce results of workflows and methods super fast, and now he needs to judge. Does it go? Is it essential? Does it create value? And I think that's a big part of the learning. So when I produce learning materials, I try to make sure that critical thinking, so using various workflows for various problems is essential part of a course. So it's like should be inside. And also the point number 4 is collaboration. According to my experience, communication or collaboration is essential part of learning, because usually you need to share your knowledge or share a result of your work with other people. And if you are really bad in this, or you don't learn how to do it in a course, it's actually not useful for organization and not useful for people who works with you. So collaboration is a separate skill. You need to make sure that you can tell other people how do you, or explain our people how do you come up to a certain conclusion. Otherwise, is really hard to use for company value or for creating any value for that sense. Okay, so let's proceed to the steps of learning, and I map out some tools because I use it personally. However, it's not super essential which language model do you use for this particular reason. I have quite a lot of luck with DeepSeek, for example, too. So what is interesting here? First of all, I use the ChatGPT a lot to determine what people should learn. What is the goal? Because yes, you have a lot of data and you have a lot of opportunity to work with it because of AI, but frame should be the first thing. And I actually spend, I think, 30% of the time to find out what I want to teach. Because for organizations, it's not as simple as it's just, okay, we want certain workflows and frameworks, because after they come back to me and ask, it doesn't work. And so people just don't use it. So I teach something, they graduate, pass the test, for example, and never use it at a job. Because of some reasons, and usually that means that the question why do you want to learn it was not answered properly. So again, it's like my experience, so maybe some people got more luck with it, but I spend a lot of time. So here there is a difference between search and deep research. So there is a function in ChatGPT. Is everyone familiar with ChatGPT deep research function? No. Let me show it. I think it's just more valuable if you're a. This is. Okay. Some logging going on. Takes a few time. Okay, so you share my screen. Okay, good. So here in ChatGPT, you have things which called, this is deep research. So deep research is a way to turn on reasoning in ChatGPT. Basically, you can ask to research any problem you want and have a quite solid and answer. So knowledge sharing trends in Germany 2025. Let's try. So the good thing is actually force you to answer question first before it proceeds to produce the results, right? So yeah, let's say corporate. Are you interested in public sector? Let's do public, I think. And do you want to, let's do technology. You can actually ask for both. And now we just wait. In the meantime, we can come back to presentation. So it will take a time just do a quite large research. Another thing for ChatGPT, for people who likes some quick hacks, so you have this personalization here. Somehow it goes into Russia. And here you have this thing which called instruction, your personal instruction. And this is super essential part, because here you can determine what kind of output in terms of style do you want. So if someone got problem with like me, hates smiling, usage smiles by ChatGPT, you can put it here and say, please, no smiles. Or you can say, I want like colder tone, or I prefer academic style of your writing. And it works really well. So the difference between average, not set up ChatGPT and the setup which works for you is huge in terms of output, saves a lot of time. And also you can say that you need more, I don't know, resources, links, or the essential thing is to ask to share citations, citations is the right word, citations, sorry, my English sometimes is broken. So citations, because at some point ChatGPT or any AI actually for a wise matter start to forget the context of a conversation in general. So if you have a long conversation, one chat, for example, and you have a lot of discovery, a lot of learning together with AI, at some point it makes sense just to say, okay, can you summarize our discussion and make sure that all essential details for you is still inside the answer. It saves tremendous amount of time. And also, like pro tip, if your current chat doesn't work, because sometimes it's just overwhelmed, you can say, ask ChatGPT to do the same. So can I have a summary, or can I have a short excerpt of our conversation, and just copy paste it and put in a neighbor chat, fresh one. It works faster, it works better. So yeah, and it's kind of keep the context together. And ChatGPT, and again, all our models, so it not be advertising, but most of our contemporary models are really good in this exertion. So to do a summary is one of the best use of ChatGPT in general. Okay, so if you have a complex subject, another tip is to use table or UML. Who knows what is UML? UML? Okay, let me show. So UML is actually a code for diagrams. So why it's interesting to use? Because all code in ChatGPT is quite strict. So it does a lot of, it's easier to change it, and ChatGPT is quite good in analyzing code, because there is a segment which actually works with code which programmers do. So of course he can read the code and do it quite well, analyze it. And UML is a way to put a process as a code. Basically, it's just a language for describing business processes. So this is also super useful if you have something which is sophisticated. And this is important because the code is much better than the diagram itself, because ChatGPT is not super cool with the pictures, and for him, diagram or PDF, it's basically the pictures. However, if you put the text or you put UML, it will be better understanding, lead to better understanding. Okay, so here you see there is a sources, which is again useful if you do some work trying to understand. This is our deep research sample here. So this is useful if you want to understand which sources is used. And for example, it was maybe back, maybe it was a way to make things more interesting, but at some point, ChatGPT was really interested in Reddit. So half of your resources, of your answers came from Reddit. And as I think everyone knows, Reddit is just a forum with people with random thoughts around. Sometimes they make sense, but sometimes no. So here you can control and maybe add by yourself resources which you want to use. Maybe you just want academic uses. I think, is it question, right?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi.
Thank you, Dimitri, but the question not only to yourself, but to everybody, what the experiences are with ChatGPT for deep research versus other tools such as Elicit or Storm, or maybe there's something else, I don't know. And I know this stuff changes all the time anyway, but what's your current favorite?
Yeah, so for this talk, thank you for a question. I really appreciate it. So for this talk and for current state of the game, I have two favorites. I have a deep research for a smaller research and for cases when I'm not sure what I'm looking for. So I'm trying to be creative with the sources. But for research when I'm capable of doing by myself, to put it strict, I use Google Notepad. And actually the next part of the lecture will be about Google Notebook solution, which is really cool for, let's say, near to academic research when you have like 20-ish, 40-ish sources. ChatGPT is not super cool when you have more than 20 sources. And ChatGPT is quite limited to 200 pages of document, I think, in one conversation. After 200 pages, it's manageable, it's still manageable, but he's stopped producing overwhelmingly good results, let's say, just average after 200 pages of your materials. So that's, I think, the answer. For everything else, I personally use Google Notebook LLM, I think it's called. I will continue to show next. It's in the next slide too. Okay, so can you see here element? Just a second. Yeah. You mentioned to use. Yeah, thank you very much.
So thank you very much. So you mentioned different kind of AI tools right now. So for example, Notebook LM or ChatGPT, which you use for your daily work. But what about the data protection? Because these tools, when you use your personal data for this, these tools are sensible. So what do you use in this case?
So first of all, there are some tips here again in personalization or in settings. You can turn off use my data to improve the quality of system. Mm-hmm. There is a section, so it decreases risk if you are working with some your data which you don't want to share. From a company level, you have a corporate So you have basically few solutions. First, you can use corporate account of ChatGPT. They promise to be more reliable in terms of your data.
Is it promised?
Yeah, it's just, yeah, but I'm not a big fan of it. So we discussed it with yeah, our student here too. So yeah, it's probably better to have something on site right now for your company documents, because otherwise you share immediately everything. And so usually you use Llama LLM or something more simpler, but which is possible, or DeepSeek, if you are not afraid of Chinese technologies, because DeepSeek works really well, and it also can be installed on premise. So in terms of like practice for organizational data, it's easier to use on premise right now. Or you should trust OpenAI in terms of like data. I don't think that any organization should trust OpenAI to share everything they got, like to put it clear. However, I'm not sure that it does make sense work as publisher works. Let's say, oh, we publish book about Agile, okay, and we want you to pay for this data, with things we discussed with you. Okay, I can see it. However, is the knowledge inside this book 100% unique? Like, is it not derived from our people's work? So do you need to buy all Agile books in order to use it, or you need to buy a few? Because they actually have science, again, according to my understanding, and maybe I'm super pro AI because I work with AI a lot. The science works the same way. You have one new idea on top of 100 old ideas, which already was produced by our people. And if it was copyrighted, older ideas in the science, there will not be science. You just don't publish, you don't share, you don't explain, and there is no science because everyone uses everyone else's work. And somehow in here in I don't know, in the GenAI world, the rules are different, and I'm not sure that I understand what is the difference between I'm going to the Agile course, learning something, put it in writing, put it inside LLM, or I just, I don't know, happen to have a book. I bought a book and put it in LLM. So I know that from legal perspective, it's not legal advice, of course, but from legal perspective, there is a huge difference. However, I'm not sure that I understand it. Like what clearly understand the line between I learn things, I write it down using AI, and I use some sources. However, maybe this is just yeah, because I'm, of course, I'm pro AI, so maybe that's just wrong assumptions. Let me show some UMLs because I want to be practical too. So, for example, you can. So I produce in ChatGPT just basic UML diagram, just to show you. This is it. And now I can put it here. Yeah, okay. It's mermaid. It's not. Okay. He produced wrong results. That's happened all the time. It still can be used, but it's not what I asked him for. So, okay, so not. Knowledge sharing is a deep research, so I want to show what is the result of deep research here. Yeah, just to make sure that everyone understands. This is basically a long, quite long, but yeah, usually 3-4 pages article. So the good things, they have all links, usually set up quite good. And below, as in a normal article, you have all sources mentioned here. So you can click and check. This one use 18 resources, which is, I think, quite good for your random research. And later you can use the result of this research to determine what you want to do. So it's just one step of research game. So overall quality, again, according to my experience and my taste, quality is quite good. Is not ready to publish state, of course. You need much more work and ask more questions, but it's comfortable. There is a downside. I think there is a limit of a deep researches you can do in 1 month. I'm not sure about number because it constantly changes, but on I think $20 subscription, you have 10 or maybe 15 deep research in month. So not a lot of, that's I think a downside, and that's why I don't recommend to use it to like actually doing research, which sounds surprising. This is perfect discovery tool. So when you're not sure what you want to do. Okay, what else is Chat GPT or Gemini useful for? I really like to use it as a devil advocate, and sometimes you come up to some conclusion or to some results, and you can ask to contradict, to have a conversation with you, like negative one, why this sucks, basically. And ChatGPT is really good in it. So you can have a lot of learning derived not from, oh, can you agree with me or can you support my point? According, again, to my personal experience, it's much more useful to use it as a contradiction tool. So yeah, I find something which I think valuable. Can you say why it's not valuable, or can you give me reasons why it's not valuable? I think it's more useful when just can you improve it. So I think most people use it. How can I improve it? I think the contradiction here is more important. Okay, so here is a new thing. This is Notebook LLM, and again, it's quite useful. Let me show you somehow. Oh, I think it's because I have it here. Anyway. Yeah, so here you basically have a chat with a document, right? So, or with here, this Notebook LLM supports like up to 40 documents reliable, and you can chat and find what you're looking for quite easy. And I'm a really big fan of mind mapping here. Mind mapping is a tool that illustrates knowledge, like as a series of, yeah, it's a diagram, I think. Yeah, it's the right word. And I actually a really big fan of it because it's, yeah, it's quite good to understand a whole. It's actually not super good idea. It's not clickable. Oh, okay. So it can go quite deep And if you don't know anything about subject and you have or have a limited knowledge and you have limited time, you don't want to read it, is actually quite good idea to use a mind mapping tool here, especially if you have many sources and you want to understand which are useful, which are not useful. So for me, this one is super helpful. We have nice audio overview, and I never use a video overview, but I use audio overview. So let's say, for example, you have something boring to read, I know, compliance notes. You can now produce a podcast when the two people talk to each other about this document. And if you have, I don't know, running exercise, or you have any spazieren, is it right name in German word? Some walking. That's a perfect thing to use to learn something new on the go. I think this is a really interesting approach. So what else I can here suggest? Ask for citation. Again, this is everywhere in the AI world. Sometimes this model is actually try to come out with his own wording or them wording too. So ask to quote things and resources, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. You need to make sure that your knowledge originated from real sources. You can discover sources to fill gaps here too. This is more for your own research things when like in corporate world, because in corporate world usually limited by resources you can use legally. But yeah, in your personal research, I think is quite you can have quite wide variety of sources right now. I use a lot of YouTube videos where I have a lot of knowledge which is never posted in writing, unfortunately now. For example, this podcast thing on YouTube is hugely popular. They are really contemporary, really fresh. So usually it's some news or new technology, and it's quite painful to wait for it to have like writing to make it in writing, because it could be like half of a year till we publish something similar with similar ideas. And yeah, I think believe the podcasts now are much more useful source of contemporary knowledge than, for example, books, because you need to wait. You need a lot of time to prepare a book for publishing. And like 1 year old knowledge in some fields are already super outdated right now, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately. It depends how you feel about progress overall. Okay, so here your job is to produce like small briefing or study guide or something like this, so you can put it inside your course and make sure that you are make life of a student slightly easier to explain it maybe in simple term. I think that's usually the problem, because yes, academic language is super precise, but it's also super hard to use and to read it. So I think this opportunity to describe knowledge, academic knowledge particularly, in interesting language is super, like I say, make it, I would say it's just increase inclusion. So you don't need to have this academic mind on design to increase inclusion right now with more open language. Do you have a question here?
Yes, just checking if I understood correctly, because you cannot upload podcasts as a source in NotebookLM, right?
Yeah, but you have a lot of ways to take I think there is a Google service when you can take any video and just produce the text from it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there is a special library, and I believe there are a lot of ways now, so it's not, and I believe Google can do it too. Also, in YouTube, you have a transcript section. So if it's on YouTube, you have transcript, just copy transcript, put it inside, sure. That's sure. Enough. So yeah, you don't have a direct way, but you can use it. And also, yeah, you can produce podcasts from it. So you can take 5 podcasts and produce 1 podcast from it. But yeah, that's a good question. Thank you. Yeah, so yeah.
This is a great question that you've mentioned. We also had the same problem there. So in our organization, we also thought about the idea maybe to use NotebookLM, but we don't decide to use the tool. So the tool is very accurate. We know this, but we don't decide to use the tool because of it has data protection issues. It also is limited on the on uploading the documents. So you mentioned only 14 documents you can upload. 40? Yeah. So that was also a limitation for us, and as well.
You want to upload all the documents you have in it? Because it's in one session confines. I don't think you can work with more than 40 sources.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so just like...
Yeah, for this, we also decided then to go with another tool. So the tool is called TextCortex, which we use right now for, because this data security, you can upload different kind of documents there, create different kind of knowledge bases as well. It gives us more structure. This is something what we use in our organization right now.
So it's, okay, good. A question is,
do you use the tool name, please?
It is called TextCortex. It's also German-based, and this is
TextCortex, right?
TextCortex, yes. It also has the same capabilities which you have with Google NotebookLM. It's also a secure system, where you can upload documents, double check where the documents are coming from. This also gives you the different kind of what is it called? References, where the information is coming from.
Citations. My favorite word for today. Citations. Quotes and citations. I don't know. It's okay. I have a question. Is it on premise, or you are is it in Germany but it's cloud?
Yeah, it's a cloud system, but they protect the data as well. So they work, as I understood, with the hyperscalers together, like AWS, etc., where the data is protected. So it's also vectorized.
Okay, so is it like by protected you mean GDPR, or you
yes,
mean
it's GDPR? Okay. It's also ISO compliant, SOC 2, as I know. Okay. So all of these things that are important for using such tools.
It's interesting. I think
maybe a recommendation, so we use it.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, that's really good. I think it's important idea that we today, for example, discuss a certain tools with a certain names, but that's actually a full class of the tools. Yeah. So when I talk about ChatGPT, I don't mean I'm a big fan of OpenAI data policy, let's say, or the way we teach the first models, which was quite predatory, to be honest, just to steal all information. I enjoy the craft. I like the output, but yeah, I have a lot of questions for the business part of it. And I don't know, being NGO and startup being corporate, for example, is another interesting move, which I deemed unfair, to be honest. But yeah, so it's whole class of tools. So it's maybe not only OpenAI. OpenAI is Anthropic or DeepSeek or whoever you want to use as a text editor, let's say, or text producer, and this class of notebook LLM for largest researches. I'm totally sure there will be much more tools. And I personally use, unfortunately, they all can be dead too really fast, because I was a big user of MindStudio thing, and it was great tool. It produced a full-scale articles for like really small costs. It charge you for every production, but produce really good quality of like deep research, but better. Unfortunately, I think it was closed after a couple of months of testing. But I think I spent like a couple of $100 there. So I produced a lot of data. But yeah, that's what's happened when your business model is not super supported. Okay, and now my favorite tool, which actually I use a lot too. Again, this is type of a tools, but now you can produce presentations much faster. I think, do we have 10 minutes more or are we done?
10 minutes? No, it should be.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Okay. So I think we are finished. I was thinking it's 45 minutes, but maybe yeah, it's 45 minutes.
45 minutes, right?
Yeah, so I will share the presentation with everyone. Sorry, I was like thinking that we have time till 11. But thank you for participating. Yeah, good. This is my first, I think, presentation in professional setting in English. So